Dubai in the UAE in general, it's where American capitalism meets European capitalism in one place.
When you touch down, you have thousands of dollars or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to establish the reality of your experience when it comes to that. Like, people need a reality check to understand it. It's not always like that.
It's not always like that.
More
Not
often
at
than
all.
not, it's the
Never
way
like
that
that, yeah.
It's
you
never like
experienced it.
that. Yeah, it's never like that because, like, the standards of living, first of all, is high. It has to sink fast in your mind, and you accept it, and you come back home. And actually, if you don't do that, it will take you to what you are talking about. That you find girls going to prostitution because they fear to return home with nothing.
Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Maya. This is the Repat Podcast. I'll let my co-hosts tell you who they are.
Hello, everybody. Master Gabs, I'm happy to be here. Hoping everybody's feeling fantastic today.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rossette Bukira, and I'm glad to be here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I think my name is O'Shea. So Rossette, we know her because we did one of our speed networking events at the restaurant that she's at, Zimbali.
Yeah.
Maybe we can play something in the background that show what happened that day. So very nice manager, but before you were in this position, you lived in Dubai.
Yes.
Now, why did you end up going to Dubai?
Okay. Thank you very much. I went to Dubai in 2022, and that was just after the first phase of COVID-19. And I remember that goes to answer what your question is like. The reason why I decided to go to Dubai is just that after that first phase of COVID, I had lost my job.
Okay.
I had a small business. I had a small boutique, I should say. It was a small business starting up, and it was actually growing. But after COVID, everything was gone. I had nowhere to start from. I was back on zero. I didn't have a job. I have a family, and both of us, I and my husband, did not have where to start from. So I talked to a relative in Dubai, and somehow he told me, if you came here, not through a company, but like he narrated everything that I would go through, I would be able to get a living.
Okay.
If I got there, and I made up my mind because I didn't have what to start with. By that time, there were no jobs. We didn't have where to start from.
Yeah.
So I took it up, and I had to make ends meet so that I could see myself there.
When you say make ends meet, you had to pay to go there, right?
Exactly.
How much did it cost for you to go?
It cost me about 4.5.
Woo!
The tickets and the visa
Yes.
only.
The ticket, the visa, and the health card.
I think the health insurance.
Yeah, the health insurance.
So you didn't have an employer when you were there?
And of course, upkeep, because
Right.
I had to carry some upkeep with me.
So you didn't have, who were you staying with when you went there?
I have a family friend that I was staying with.
And how did you... So usually when people go with companies, they have jobs set for them. So you going by yourself, did you have a job prepared for you or set for you? Or you had to start the job searching?
Actually, I should say it's not a guarantee that when you go through the company, you actually get the job there. But that's why I had actually never woken up and opted to go to Dubai, because I always had so many queries about the girls that go to Dubai. Not only girls, but especially girls. Some of them go to do housemaid work, and I'm like, wow, I've gone to school, I have a degree, I cannot go for this. So I didn't want to go through the company, because most of the companies that you go through,
That's all they offer.
Yeah, that's the jobs that they offer. I could not go for them. So I went. I didn't have a job secured, but through what I was interviewed, I knew I could. I'm a go-getter. I could go there and look out for a job. Yes.
Okay. And how was the job search? I know it can be quite hard.
Yes, it can be quite hard due to different circumstances, but I want to say I thank God because when I got there, I went in May, on the 15th of May. And before I left, I was undergoing through early stages of depression because of the circumstances and no jobs, this and that, the responsibilities. And when I went there, I first needed to first calm down a bit and rest, cool down and then search for the job because I was told here it's working. You get a job, you are working. It's not this dilly-dallying here in Uganda. So I thank God that when I got there, he actually answered my prayer. I looked for the jobs. Yes, it wasn't easy. You have to, get onto these applications. You have to be sending emails every morning, early morning. You have to know what time to, to send the emails, and they have to be quite a number to different. You have to be very intentional. So I did that, and just after 1 month, I got a job in July. Yeah, I got a job in July.
A job doing what?
It was a restaurant. It's called JJ Chicken Restaurant.
So you were waitressing or in the kitchen?
I applied as a waitress and was given a cashier position. Yes, but being a cashier doesn't mean you're going to be handling cash only.
Oh.
It's a beauty that when you are there, you're actually trained straight from the kitchen. You have to go straight from the kitchen. You're trained from scratch because you have to be, I should say, versatile. You have to know all the ventures in the restaurant straight from the kitchen. They teach you cashiering, they teach you everything. So you are a cashier, but you do dispatch, you do waiting. Yes.
Okay, so after getting your job and you were staying with your family friend, how was life, as a Ugandan in Dubai, working in Dubai?
When I got the first job, I didn't stay there long.
Oh.
And despite the fact that I was staying with someone that I knew, life is not the way it is here in Kampala or Uganda, whereby if you're staying with a relative, there's less to pay for. But there, trust me, it's a different story. But there, because of the responsibilities and the cost of living is quite high, so you actually feel it yourself that you need to contribute. Yeah, at times we take people for granted, but I couldn't take him for granted because I had to find a way of contributing. I actually had to contribute towards my rent. Yeah, towards my rent. It was an apartment, but I had to contribute.
Not like a bed space type of thing?
No, it wasn't bed space.
Oh.
But of course, we're staying with people around with bed space. So I could tell the experience of bed space. And I'm like, okay.
That's another thing.
I went to Dubai in 2022 for the first time. And when I traveled there, I was fortunate enough to have somebody who I worked with in the past who was living in Dubai, had been there for a handful of years. And he took me around the city and showed me so many things. But then he took me to this one part of Dera that felt like old Kampala. You could walk around and literally see that's a Muganda again. They're speaking Luganda over here. There's restaurants, there's barbershops, there's businesses that are built around this community of Ugandans and East Africans in general, right? Because people are also speaking Swahili and Congolese people as well. Is that the part of the city where you live? Did you immediately gravitate toward being a part of that Ugandan community, or did you live and have different experiences that were outside of that?
Actually, yes, what you're saying is right, but I should say, fortunately, I was staying in a different part. I was staying in Ariga. Yes, Ariga is a little bit far from. It's more. I won't say so much into the city, but it's in the suburbs of the city. But Dera is completely downtown.
It's Gazaland.
Exactly. Okay, it's like Chikuvo, Kampala. You find all sorts, and I was actually warned. The first time I went to Dera, my first day, I entered Dubai. The following day, I went to Dubai Mall. I was escorting that relative. We were going to do a vaccination. And I was all like, ooh, I've always heard about Dubai Mall. So I was so excited about it. And the whole experience and everything. It took me quite some time going downtown there, but I was warned, I was told, at least I was briefed. I got a chance to, because this person has been in Dubai for quite some time. So he told me the do's and don'ts. So I knew even when I'm crossing the road, I should not just cross from anywhere, Before you know it, by the time you're moving out of Dubai, they're like, shoo, here you cross from the wrong side of the road and you have to pay a fee. So that other side of Deira, it told me, you will find the street girls, the prostitutes. So if they are on this side, please don't go so much onto that side. You should do the opposite way. Because with the blacks, even if they found you just around where they are and maybe they are trying to, take them away, they'll take you.
Yeah.
And you can't, say anything right there. You have to excuse yourself.
Did you find that there was a certain image? Because you mentioned how there's a lot of... let's call it women who find themselves in sex work.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of young African women who find themselves having to resort to being sex workers.
Yes.
Some actually go there for that purpose.
Exactly.
But others fall into that because of lack of other opportunities that make sense.
Yes.
So did you find that there was a certain maybe stereotype or stigma that you had to fight against being a Ugandan woman or an African woman coming into Dubai, particularly since when you arrived, you were on the hustle, trying to find opportunities? Did you find people trying to pigeonhole you into certain spaces, telling you to go to do things or suggesting that you're only qualified for this just by nature of who you are, where you're from, and how you look?
I could say that the stigma that I experienced was at my workplace. Yes, it's all over, but I personally... It was, and yes, it's not only from where I worked from first, because I had 2 opportunities at last. But yes, you actually feel it. The blacks, you are treated differently.
Like how?
Yes.
You are treated
Like
differently. I got to find out that is after leaving my first job, you are actually paid different amount of money.
Oh, you're paid
different
less?
Salaries, yes. You're paid
Differently
less
in comparison to who?
to the rest.
Like,
I
who are the
should
rest?
say the Africans.
To other Africans?
Yes, to Africans, the Asians are paid differently.
Okay.
Yes.
So Africans are paid one thing, and the Asians,
are paid differently.
including Indians,
Exactly. And you
those
find that
Filipinos.
yes, you find that it's us the blacks that do most of the hard work.
Oh.
We are very hospitable and we work hard. And I should say, I'm not saying that they don't work, but we do the most work and we are paid less.
Oh.
Yeah, compared to what those other people do get. And also, there's a lot of segregation, still to the racism, whereby you could be serving, you're into service and you're serving maybe an Arab or a white, and when they find you a black, you can't take their order.
Ooh.
They'll refuse.
Yes.
Service.
They refuse your service. Like, you cannot take their order.
What will they say? Get me the white part. Sorry.
Because by the time that's why actually in most of those places or workplaces and different job opportunities, they have to hire different races of people. They hire Africans, they hire Indians, they hire Filipinos, like all sorts of, because they know, because you get to, even when you're looking for jobs, you go to maybe an apparel shop, you're taking your CV, and you get it to a Filipino, maybe receptionist or something. They could even laugh at you. They laugh at you before you move out. It's dumped into, it's trashed, and they're only maybe waiting for a fellow Filipino, and it's whom
One
they
of
wish
their
well.
own.
Yes, so there's so much racism. But if your mind is up there and you really know what you want, you put it on the back. But it hurts.
How did it? So you said it hurt. No, let me ask you this, because you come from Uganda, where everybody is. There's no black in Uganda because everybody is African.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to the world, like Arab world, you're so excited for you to be there, and like you're so accepting of maybe open to what's going to happen, but then you see that others are not open to you.
Yes.
and you said it hurts. What exactly hurts about, like, what specifically hurts?
You just imagine yourself, you're on the counter and you maybe doing the cashiering and someone comes and like they look at you and you're black and like they're not ready to get your service. You feel like, okay, why, you know?
Do they
Is
go
that what you
ahead and
feel?
request to talk to
Yes.
management to have someone else serve them?
Exactly. And
They
they can
do?
blow it in your face.
So these are, who are the Arabs or Filipinos?
I experienced that in the expo, my second job. I experienced that so
At the
many
expo?
times. At the expo.
The Dubai Expo.
So many times.
Okay.
And our fellow blacks as well. Because the moment you're black, you're African, doesn't matter where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't matter where you're coming from.
So it doesn't even mean, I've heard it before too. Even me as an American, doesn't matter. You're black.
Before you speak to know that you're an American,
American.
as long as you're black,
Uh-huh.
you're black. Before they hear your accent or get to know you're an American or black American, to them you're black. So it's the skin.
The skin color.
Exactly. And actually, to some places, there are people who are favored more who when they are light-skinned.
Ooh, I want to ask about colorism.
If they are light-skinned, you're favored. Those are some of the favors when...
If you're
looking for
light-skinned
jobs.
African, you're treated differently.
Not really, but you are favored more. Let's say if in the cases where you're looking for jobs and you're going for interviews, if you're light-skinned...
So many of these stories that I've seen people tell, women who've had your experience in working in Dubai, and there's always just an overarching negative theme around it about the experience. Can you tell us something that was a positive aspect of what you experienced? Maybe there was a lesson learned.
Yes.
Maybe, like you said, when you arrived in Dubai, you were going through depression and things of that nature. Maybe there was an element of how you have evolved as a person and changed and grown from the experience. Can you reflect on a positive outcome that came from that?
Yeah, of course, definitely. I don't want to be like on the negative side only because I didn't come back the way I went. For my first job, the reason why I actually left, I didn't mention anything to do with that, but the reason why I left, it was due to my manager. It was an Indian who was actually younger than me. And I don't know, I would respect him, but he just didn't like to work with blacks.
Okay.
So you,
Yes, and
Still waiting for the positive part.
really frustrate me to the extent that I could not hold it anymore.
Yes.
1 month down the road and a half,
Right.
I
It's
decided to
done.
quit. However, on the positive side, I appreciate the fact that I mentioned this first. Here in Kampala, it's rare to go to places where you are trained from scratch. Let it be a restaurant, let it be anywhere. But this, I think I've had even besides Dubai alone, when you go to different outside countries, you are trained. Even if you are a trained nurse here, you go out there, they will train you from. Yeah, so I appreciate the experience of being trained. Yeah, of being trained. And the training will take you far.
the skills you learn.
Exactly.
Is there
The
anything
skills
that you learned about yourself as a person in terms of your ability to go through the type of experience?
Yes.
And when you come back here to your home country, does it now change your mindset around how you deal with your peers and your relatives and your family members here versus what you've seen outside there?
Quite a number, definitely. I'll mention those that I can. Besides the experience, of course, the personal growth and also learning how to, cope up with different races, different character of people. And I also learned because after there I worked with the expo, and personally the different experiences I went through, I was able to meet, I would say, the whole world in one place.
Yeah.
And this is something that I had never dreamt of. It was quite a good experience for me. I learned how to handle different, characters of people. People come differently, but the way you handle them, this is going to help you everywhere. Not only in Dubai, even when you come back here, you find people behave differently, but you come to appreciate the way people behave and just learn how to cope up with everyone, the way you know how to handle people. Yeah.
So you said that training. I think Jonita told me that like in Uganda, when you're training for a job, you have a boss. The boss expects you to perform at a certain level, but there is no level of training or standards for the job. But I didn't notice when I was in Dubai the last time, like even at one of my favorite restaurants is the Cheesecake Factory. And my goal was to see how different, let's say, Five Guys was from America than from the Cheesecake Factory. It was the fucking same, if not a better experience, the Cheesecake Factory in Dubai. I mean, the training is immaculate. The customer service is immaculate.
Yes, it is.
And you're seeing people, no offense, but one of the ladies I met was actually a Ugandan lady that was working in the Cheesecake Factory. And this is like maybe July. She was coming home, I guess in August. And it's not to be offensive or anything, but I was like, whoa, this is the first time I've seen you kind of like in a restaurant like that on point. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was, everything was, because Dubai in the UAE in general, it's where American capitalism meets European capitalism in one place. Exactly. Like I think that's the best way to say it. Because like you can get Carrefour, which is a French brand, and Peet's Coffee. It's the only place I know you can do that in the world that I've seen. Because I love Peet's Coffee from like California. And you can get things that, and I lived in Europe, so you can get them both. And you cannot find a Carrefour that's a European brand that's not executed in the way that the brand strategy was created for them. And it's to the T. Everything is to the T. So I was really impressed to see Africans that were just executing at Peet's Coffee, who they had no idea where the company came from. They had no idea. Because I went to Sac State, and so I would take Peet's Coffee every day. My mother loves Peet's Coffee. And it's from the Bay Area, Berkeley, but I noticed that here when you go to KFC, let's say, any American brand that's kind of Domino's, Pizza Hut,
yeah, you still getting the UG version.
Yeah, there's another big brand that I've worked with before that
it's
missing. Yeah.
I have one final question. Sorry. So we talked about what brought you to Dubai, the circumstances that made you take that decision and take that leap. So talk about the decision of the timing when to return back to Uganda.
Oh, great question.
Was it by design? Did you have a certain, let's say for example, you said, I'm going to spend X number of months here in Dubai. Once this time expires, no matter what, I'm returning home. Or was it built around, I need to spend a certain amount of time, whatever that time is, once I hit my financial goal, I'll return back? Or was it, man, it fucking sucks here. I got to get home and I got to get home now.
Yeah. So thank you very much for that question. What actually exactly happened is I had planned to at least, because I was told when you get a contract, should be like 2 to 3 years. I was like, okay, at least after this time, I believe I'll have, gained some little capital, and then probably I can go back, start something. But I would say, unfortunately, it didn't come the way I had planned it. Because when I get to Dubai, after the first job, I quit. Fortunately, I get one immediately within the same month. That was the Expo, the Dubai Expo 2020 World Expo. And unfortunately, now it was only 6 months. It was a 6 months contract. So after 6 months, and they employed quite a number of employees. Quite a number, like an activity you can do, like one person, they give it to about 6 people. And like they overestimated it. And what also hit most was now the second phase of COVID. It killed everything.
Even in Dubai?
Yes.
Okay.
The second phase of COVID found me there. And it was a blow. There it's so sensitive.
Yes. It's better to be in Uganda broke than in Dubai broke.
Yes. If you're sleeping with your okay, like the people that the person you're sharing your apartment with gets COVID, you have to be like they are quarantined. You have to be taken for
Testing.
Yes, you are, and you're also out of the place. You have to be quarantined elsewhere. Like it's really hit us most, and the contract ended in 6 months, and there was quite a number of people that were not employed, and everyone had to stay in now to look for jobs. So the number of unemployed people was quite big. The level of unemployment was really there. Everyone was now like, I should stay here. I should look for something to do. It was a mess.
So when you came back to like Uganda, how did you find readjusting after living there? How hard was it to?
I didn't find it so hard. Before I get there, when I left, I didn't decide to leave as soon. I decided to keep in there and try to look out for jobs. First 3 months, I had to do my visa change because after the other contract of 6 months, like your visa is cancelled. So you have to renew for a visit visa. Good enough, then you could renew within. So I had to renew, and 3 months, no job. I'm like, okay, let me do another 3. 3 months, I could not do it anymore.
Time to hit the ejector button.
Yeah, I'm like, no. And life can be tough there if you are not working. Terribly. Like, it's really tough. Now I was undergoing another depression. Like, no, I don't have to wait for this. I can go back home. I have my children. Let me go there. I cannot fail to get something to do. So I could talk to my family, my friends here. Like, no, things are more tough in Uganda. I'm like, okay, since you are surviving.
So I'm presuming the whole time that you were there, you were sending money back home.
I was sending money back home when I was working.
When you were working, yes.
Yes.
But then when you were not working, how were you surviving? Were you dwindling the small savings that you had?
Exactly.
So you used...
I had to go back to my relative where I was staying. During work, we were provided with accommodation. That's the second one now. We're provided with accommodation. So kind of, that's how I could be able. And what I didn't mention, I had to actually borrow some money when I was going. So I had to do the paying of a bill, my dates, and send back some little money back home. So by the time I was, after those 6 months of not working, I didn't have anything.
I'm only asking because I'm trying to establish like the accuracy of your experience. So when people, because people have this impression, I think even still to this day, people have this impression that when you go abroad to work, you go for cheo and things of that nature, you go, you work. Yes, you're sending money back home to your family as you should, but you're also able to amass a substantial amount of cash that you just come back with and you feel rich. Right. So when you touch down, you have thousands of dollars or whatever. Yeah. And I just wanted to establish the reality of your experience when it comes to that. Like, people need a reality check to understand it. It's not always like that.
It's not always like that.
More often than not, it's the
never
way
like
that
it's
you
never like
experienced
that. Yeah, it's never like that because like the standards of living, first of all, is high. So the fact as just trying to actually settle in, you know, as you're trying to settle in, you're already getting phone calls. You have to pay this. You have to. This one is calling you. I need this. I need that. Because they know when you get there after a month, you are getting a job. You're actually getting the money. They do not know what you actually go through. The transport is expensive. The accommodation is expensive. The standard, the food alone is expensive. You actually feel like and actually, it also depends on what job you are doing and how much you are earning. And how much are you able to save? And, you know,
care for is very expensive in Dubai. Oh my God. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
They don't grow anything. They import everything.
Yeah. The fruit is expensive. Expensive. You feel like you want to eat some home food. My God.
So you touch back in Uganda. You've been through the last 6 months of, let's call it the struggle, right?
Yes.
You've now kind of re-entered this phase of depression. So that's now what triggers your decision to come back home to UG, right?
Yes.
So now back to O'Shea's question. What was your experience like when you landed back home on the ground in Uganda?
I shouldn't say it was easy
Mm-hmm.
because you come back and not everyone knows your story. Not actually everyone needs to know your story. Because like you say, they're actually expecting you to come back with money and but that was not the case. So you definitely feel it and be like, okay, you kind of first calm down, and you it has to first sink in your mind, and you accept that I have to be home. Despite if I have the money, if I've made it or not, if my dreams have come true or not, it has to sink first in your mind, and you accept it and you come back home. Yeah. And actually, if you don't do that, it will take you to what you are talking about, that you find girls going to prostitution because they fear to return home with nothing. You understand? They fear to, to be maybe ashamed or to be...
Like, how can I come back home with nothing? Come back from Dubai broke.
Exactly. And that will push many maybe to do different things and earn a living. And others actually decide to just stay there and no matter. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I decided to come back home. And yes, I was promised a job. And I came back knowing, okay, maybe I'll do this. Unfortunately, still the job that I was promised is not what I went for. But at least when I came back home, I had 4 opportunities that I could choose from.
Wow.
Where I was working before, they needed me. Even before I left, they were like, okay, now, so you're going. Who are you leaving us with? All the time, like, okay, I've just made this decision. Let me go. So when I came back, they needed me back. I had Zimbali. Like I had some options.
Yeah.
Where to start from. Some from my relatives, friends, and also the fact that you have gotten this experience. You're out of Uganda. Of course, you don't come back the same.
Yeah.
You've gotten some international experience. It puts you somewhere. Yeah. So at least I had some opportunities that I had to look out for. To choose from.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so hard for me.
Yeah.
I came back in November and I started working in January.
Oh, praise the Lord. I just Esther was on the show and she talked about her experience in Dubai.
Yes.
And she mentioned that the Ugandan community in Dubai, fellow Ugandans don't want to see another Ugandan grow, or they don't want to put you on like the Filipinos do.
Or even the Nigerians do.
Yeah.
She even the Nigerians help each other, but the Ugandans won't.
Yeah. It was about a Filipino waiting for another Filipino to bring in their application. Was that your experience? Did you feel like you had support from fellow Ugandans, or you were not supported?
No, actually I wasn't.
I do not want to associate myself with any Africans apart from Nigerians.
Why?
Because Nigerians are better Africans.
Expound on that. Why wouldn't you want to associate with your fellow country people, but Nigerians, you decide to go with Nigerians?
You have a job, you're Ugandan. And I come to you and I want a job. And I qualify very well. But we come from the same country, yeah? This is what Uganda does. And you cannot tell me nothing. Every Ugandan is like this. Oh, I'm looking for a job. Oh, you're looking for a job? I know where I can. Now that is Joanita telling me, I know where I can find you a job. My company is actually hiring. Oh, really? Yes, give me your CV. Can you give me 1,000 dirhams? That's 1 million. See, the thing is my company is hiring, but I did not also get this job for free.
Corruption.
Yeah.
That
it is not corruption, it's stupidity.
What she said was right.
Really?
I will tell you, when I was working with Expo, I was sleeping with a Kenyan. And most of my friends that I used to associate with were Kenyans and Taiwans and like different other races.
Yeah.
Despite the Ugandans. But the fact that even after the 6 months, my fellow Ugandans didn't know I was a Ugandan.
Whoa.
They didn't know I was a Ugandan. But why? Because just exactly what you said. They just want to put you down.
What?
Exactly. And it really eats up my mind. I'm like, but why?
But if you didn't tell them you're Ugandan,
they knew actually I was Ugandan, but I think because they told me, but your accent, and also the Kenyans thought as Kenyan.
Oh.
I had dreadlocks, like my lifestyle, and
hey, you're Rasta.
Yeah, they thought I was Kenyan. So they're
Yeah.
like, first we thought you were Kenyan. I was like, no, I'm a Ugandan.
Yeah.
But my accent would not so much tell them I was Ugandan. And yeah, and the Kenyans thought as Kenyans, like, you need to learn Swahili. Yeah, so yes, it's true. Ugandans, it's even where they stay, the Deira areas, my God.
They're very Kenyans.
You know, when you're moving and you find a fellow Ugandan, you don't even feel like you want to associate with them.
Yeah.
Some of them, I won't say all, but of course some of them will shame you, feel like you don't even want to associate with them. Because what they are doing
like
is,
shout.
no,
Hello,
like
or something.
the way you see them behave here is the same way they do there.
The what? They're pulling women when they're walking or something.
No, not to the gents.
And they be treating
Can I
you
say
John.
like-
Downtown.
Damn.
Downtown. You know
They're
it's
so-
rough
I'm
downtown.
sorry. They're
Sorry,
so-
Bambi.
can I
Yeah,
say?
it's so bad. I don't even.
Wow, you want to talk about that?
And I think this applies to these that are not educated. And some that go through the companies, they go to the housemaid jobs, and then they
Chiyumba.
run away. They come to Dubai because you find less of that kind of work in Dubai. That is more in Saudi Arabia and so on. But when you find such class of Ugandans acting the way they're acting, they're, I don't even know who
Disorganized.
want to mention. Yeah, they're disorganized.
you
you
can
feel like you
mention.
don't want to associate with them because what should I say?
Because even when you're trying to leave at the airport, the Ugandans trying to make you like,
Yes.
help us take this. Like I don't know what's in it. What if they arrest me?
But you
because of
see,
it?
I think that starts from here. I don't want to overdo it, but
Generalize.
the Baganda themselves,
Ooh,
they have this
not you.
enkwe thing. I don't know if you
The
shame me not about enkwe, like tetweyagaliza as Ugandans, as the Baganda
like we don't
themselves.
wish each other
Well.
well. That's what she's
Actually,
trying
we
to
don't
mean.
wish well for.
And you're
one
definitely
another.
Uganda.
Yes,
I can
am,
even
but
look at you and
I'm
see
half
it now.
Uganda mixed, so
Okay.
I'm not that type
I can
of
tell
not
now.
wishing well for
Yeah.
others. But what hurts me most,
Yeah.
you find a Ugandan looking for a job, and then you find another Uganda working, and where they are actually, there are opportunities.
Vacancies.
Exactly. But they have to sell this job to you. You
Oh.
don't
That's
get
the same thing that she
you
said.
know,
Say it,
you
yeah.
don't pay for that job, you can't get it.
Hold on one second. Like, we need to play that clip.
You cannot
need
get
to play
it.
that clip,
I'm telling
Esther.
you,
I saw in Dubai that a fellow Ugandan will make sure when they know somewhere where they have a job, they will extort money first out of you to tell you where the interview is. Meanwhile, the Asian people are out here supporting each other. When they see a job post somewhere, they're calling the people that are not even qualified to apply for the job. We are so busy nitpicking and pointing and fighting each other. Meanwhile, the white man is successful and the Asians are successful. I mean, as if we don't have enough nonsense that happens in our communities as Africans. I mean, look at us. We have presidents that know they are sitting on the richest continent in the world, but they are busy selling our minerals to whites and the Asians, and the whites and the Asians are benefiting, literally. There is nothing that I have seen as self-destruction as much as in the black community. We self-destruct. We don't want success for each other.
and those are some of the things that really, you kind of question yourself, and you're like, we are in a foreign country. Why can't we help each other? And this
They
is
want
what the
njawulo.
Filipinos are doing. This is what the Nigerians are doing. This is what the other West Afrikaners are doing. They are wishing well for one another. They even call them from their home countries. That's why you find the population of Filipinos is high, because they are wishing well for one another. But for the Ugandans, my goodness,
Pay me.
pay me first. You don't pay, you don't get the job.
So I want to position a question differently now. So we've talked about, the journey that you went through in Dubai and how you've had not only a lot of challenging experiences, but it has been food for growth,
Yes.
right? You've had a change in perspective in terms of how you've seen the world, viewed the world.
Yes.
Maybe there were some things that you were naive to before, and the harsh realities that you encountered have made you grow up in a different way. And since we all as human beings are the sum total of our experiences,
Yes.
I'm interested to know, here as you sit here with us in 2024, right? We met you in the context of you're a manager at a hospitality establishment, right?
Yes.
And given all that you've learned, given all that you've experienced, what are your career ambitions now, right? Because the way that I see it is you've got a lot of exposure to a different way of thinking. You've got a lot of exposure to a different type of skill set and capability that should set you apart from the other individuals who occupy jobs in this space. Are you actively looking to continue on your journey in this industry? Do you see this as a step in a broader picture for you in terms of what your individual ambitions are? And most importantly, how are the people who employ you right now leveraging the experience and the mindset that you have to not only get the best out of you, but get the best for their business out of what you can offer them? Because a lot of the time you can be a skilled individual, you can be an intelligent person, but your boss is just not switched on in the right way to maximize the benefit that they can get from you. And they just want to put you in a position to move shit around. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I know I've asked you a lot of questions in that area, but I want to know, what's the future like for you? What are your career ambitions? Where are you going from here? And how are you going to take this Dubai experience and leverage it to be the greatest in terms of what it is that you want to achieve?
Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, I just like you asked a question before about my positive experience, and I mentioned about the training and the association and everything, and I should say the position that I'm into right now is one of the results for my experience in Dubai, because I never had positions like that before I left. And yes, I have tried with my position to try and, bring out this, like share my expertise and share my knowledge with my team. And from what I copied there, I'm trying so much. Of course, it's not easy. It needs that intense training with my staff to actually cope with a little that I was able to pick from there and make sure that I put it into action. I put it into practice together with my team that I am heading, and at least to see ourselves there. But I should say it's not easy. It's just an ongoing, like it's gradual. Yeah, it's a gradual process. But as myself, of course, I don't want to see myself there all the time. Like I have plans of probably, I want to I have a level where I want to put Zimbali art, and probably in the future I can set up my own maybe place, and
we hope.
Excellent.
Will you hire me?
Experiences. Yeah, and hire and do this
You want to
training.
hire
and-
Shay.
Can I work for you?
I've had many wanting to hire me, but can you?
I want to work for you.
As what?
Whatever.
Maybe business partners.
There you go.
Investor.
You know, I lie a lot,
You know?
so I will cheat you.
No,
Yeah,
no,
but
no,
thank
no.
you so much,
Yeah,
Rossette. That was
so-
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want my experience to just die. Yeah, because it was a good experience, I should say. It was good. I didn't remain the same.
Okay.
I didn't remain the same.
Perfect. Lovely. Do you want people to reach out to you on social media? If you don't, it's okay.
Personally or
Zimbali?
Okay.
really? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. People can reach out to us on our social media handles, can visit us, physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, should come visit Zimbali, have a good
Yeah.
experience over the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should. It's located at Lumumba Avenue.
Lumumba Avenue,
So-
plot 44,
Yeah.
just after near offices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Actually, Rossette, I just want to, celebrate you and congratulate you for the journey that you've
Thank
been on. I think it's really important that we kind of speak affirmation into people who are in a position like yourself, right? So many times we who are clients in this world of customer service, we just want people to do for us. I'm paying my money, make sure that I'm satisfied, right?
Yes, yes.
We don't often get an opportunity. I mean, you and I have interacted, right? And I'm the kind of client who's not easy to deal with when I'm displeased about service.
Oh,
and I've been displeased about service
Yes.
at the place where you worked before. And you've heard it directly from me. However, the way that you handled it, the way that you addressed the issues, I could see that you have a high level of patience, a high level of professionalism. You're very calm and composed, and you're a solution-oriented person. Not everybody is like that. And so I just want to continue to encourage you to see those things within you that allowed you to survive the depression, survive those moments of self-doubt and struggle when you were in Dubai, and to persevere through the racism and the sexism and all of those discriminatory experiences that you had over there that have now brought you to this. I think when you continue to establish your ambition and you say that you one day would like to have a business of your own, it's 100% valid. It's 100% doable. It's 100% possible. And I would see myself as somebody who would want to encourage you and support you. So just continue to have that highest standard of yourself, and even hold your bosses to a high standard. Because sometimes these dudes out here be up too, man. and they need to be reminded that just because you have the money to invest in this doesn't mean you know better than me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
true.
came from something else and you were able to do something else to be able to put you in a position to invest in this. But you hired me for my knowledge and my skills and my expertise and my capability to help you grow your business to something profitable and meaningful with longevity. So keep that confidence and keep that mindset because of what you've been through. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're less than or different from anybody who's seen as the greatest success stories out here that Ugandan business has to reflect upon, because I see that in you. Yeah. I just want to continue to encourage you and just celebrate the journey that you're on, and we're looking forward to seeing much more of that.
Yeah. Wow, Gabs. Thank you for that speech. I'm about to go and change my life. Gabs is preaching today.
All I need to do is become a pastor of a born again church, and
that's where the money's at, right?
But give people the flowers. That's amazing.
Now, let me just say this. I don't want to belabor the point what he said. I don't. It was very to the point. But yeah, I've had some issues before. And Rossette is just a lot of people don't like me in the business sector here. At least I perceive they don't, because of my way of doing things. Rossette reminds me a lot of Rachel. She's very easy to deal with, very easy to talk to, and one of the few people that 'cause I dislike a lot of people in this country in the business sector. But I will always say, Rossette, I got something for. I got cupcakes, I got cookies. Can I send them? And you're always like, yes. Send them, and you've just been so easy to work with, and I mean, you just have the attitude for the culture. I think that a business is trying to achieve. You're a person I really do trust, and you've made me want to even consider certain things. I've even talked to a guy about it, like, hey, and it's because of you. I'll tell you flat out. If it wasn't you, then I'd be like. But yeah, it was a real fun experience at Zimbali, and you're just very easy to work with. You're not one of those people where, okay, something is fucked up, and you're not trying to make excuses for why it's fucked up. And it happens a lot in Uganda, in Kampala. You try to adjust it. Well, okay, what can we do to make that better next time, or something like that? And and for me, like, things are just trying to get better. But as an entrepreneur, it's like, okay, this person wants to make the partnership at least get to the next level. And that's why I'm crazy about you. I love you so much. And that's why whenever I get things, I always make sure, if you want to, get high cholesterol with some of these cupcakes, I always send them.
I get you fired.
Yeah. There was some before I go, Zara Giles, they have a daughter that's like 16 years old. So the daughter makes these cinnamon roll cookies. And you've ever had before?
Yeah, you gave them to me.
Yeah. It's like 10,000 shillings per cookie. Wow. And it's expensive. Even for me, that's expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it costs a lot of money. So we had got some, and I got like 50. And so I think I had I told you about it.
Yes.
I think I had sent like 12. And so I was thinking about those cookies I was going to enjoy. But it was Rossette. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and send the lady, you know, what. So I was like 150 tall. I saw Ogum and like my heart dropped as he was carrying him out. You know what I mean? Going down to the bike. I wanted to shed a tear, you know what I mean? But because it was you, I was like, yeah, we can do it. So yeah, it's not, we know it's not hard. It's not easy dealing in this private sector. But people like you, that's where the start is.
Keep
Thank
going.
you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Rosette's
for the
episode. Just,
encouragement.
yeah,
Because
even as a team,
Yes.
Dealing with
you were
niggas will make
easy
you
to
stop.
work with.
Thank you.
When we were shooting at Zimbali. Also, Zimbali has the blessed plantain. Listen, when you go there,
Zimbali's cool. It's fun too.
the food is amazing. But yeah,
Thank
guys,
you.
thank you so much
Looking
for
forward to
watching.
seeing you.
See you guys next time. Bye.